Hey, this is Aly AJ, and we just did an awesome interview on the Zach Sang Show.
We cannot wait to see you guys live on tour. We'll be out all of April, and September 8th, we're playing the Greek. So get tickets now and see us at Pappy and Harriet's for a special album release party on March 17th.
Hello, beautiful human. Thanks for clicking on our conversation with Aly and AJ. We got music, life, and history to discuss. I'm really excited. Plus, they have new music that's on the way. A brand new album coming in the spring, but new singles are dropping. If you want to listen to them, there's a link in the description below. Also, if you want to see them on tour, check out the description. We'll get a link in there so you can buy tickets. And today's interview being delivered right to your door by GoPuff. GoPuff is changing the way we get things delivered. They are a convenience store right in the palm of your hand, baby. They change the way I buy literally everything. They have everything and anything on here. Thousands and thousands of items, from home goods to alcohol to snacks to electronics, whatever you need, delivered right to your door. Really incredibly quick. Nobody does it like GoPuff. If you want to try them out and save $10 off your first 2 orders, all you got to do is use the code ZAC10 when you're checking out. ZAC10, use it, try them out. Here's Aly and AJ. Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach, that's Dan, and Aly and AJ are in the studio.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for choosing to let my croaky voice today enter into your ears. I'm so sorry about that.
Don't apologize. It is a bit raspier than last time.
Yes, well, it's not usually this raspy.
Yeah.
God's truth is you get over like having bronchitis and then you scream on top of that.
Oh, no.
And then you smoke a little weed, and by a little weed, I mean a lot of weed. It's just like been the perfect storm over the last few days to have a shit voice.
Got it.
But we'll recover.
You'll be fine.
We'll be stronger than yesterday.
You know who you kind of sound like right now? Michael Barbaro.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I think
Iconic.
is a major compliment.
That's huge.
And he's iconic. But I will say, I think he's losing his voice sometimes.
I
mean, I worry about him.
That man does it every day.
He does it every day,
so
be careful of your voice.
There is something.
Treat it with kindness.
Well, so I do wonder, as you guys are, by the way, we're going to dissect an entire new body work. I'm very excited about it. But as always, I have to acknowledge the fact that you've been doing this since almost the dawn of time. Is there something that, like, in order to do what you have done, and it's more than just music, like even acting and being able to show up on a set every day, day in, day out, being able to memorize lines, has there been like one vital thing that you need to keep intact in order to actually show up and act or be professional? Because at the end of the day, I know how high up on the call sheet y'all are. You know, the way the
Not
day,
always that high.
Not always. You'd be surprised.
No, but like the way the day would fall out in a lot of ways would be up to how you guys showed up that day. So
yeah.
Well, I'm usually always I would say sleep is
number one.
Number one, and I would say I'm usually like 3 to 5 minutes late on set pretty much every day.
Yeah.
But that 5 minutes is fine. It's like they always put a buffer in. But I would say that, that's because I am just someone that really wants to sleep as long as possible.
Same.
And I will literally wake up and be like, I have to be in the car in 15 minutes. And it's like, I can brush my teeth. I can jump in the shower really quick, do a body shower. Like I don't drink coffee in the morning, so I don't have to make that. It's like I basically roll out in pajamas and
go.
She leaves hardly any time.
Almost no time.
I leave a little more time, and I still end up also 3 to 5 minutes late.
Are we memorizing lines though? Like, are you showing up prepared?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think as you spend more time on a set, it's more and more tempting to not memorize in advance and to just say, I could memorize it in the hair makeup chair, but don't do it. It's never good. And then when you do it, you're like, oh, yep, I regret it. That was really stupid. Unless it's an insanely light day and you have like 4 lines or something, and you're like, I'm fine. I can memorize this in 10 minutes. But I always come super prepared. So does AJ. Yeah. I think that's just the people we are. We're kind of, those type A.
And then I love running it in the trailer. Like, if all the actors are down while we're in hair and makeup, I'm like, let's do it. Let's run it. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. I need that. Yeah. Some people don't.
But do you push the envelope a little bit and then end up kind of tripping over yourself and maybe not having a day on set that you needed? Because like at the end of the day too, if you fuck up, it's kind of embarrassing because there's a bunch of people behind the camera and in Video Village watching you.
Right.
And everyone needs to reset and like nobody wants to be that fucking guy.
It happens.
I've been that guy.
I think it happens to every actor.
It happens.
Where you have a moment of like, it's really not happening today. And you go, I'm prepared. I'm actually not nervous. Like, I know all these people,
Right.
but sometimes your brain just isn't like firing on the same level as it usually does. And those days are embarrassing and do feel really terrible. But everybody's always like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Even though you're like,
Yeah.
maybe
It
is.
sucks when you're a guest. So,
Yeah. I agree.
you know,
I
because
agree.
you're not a regular. You're not like usually there. Like
Yeah.
Aly and I guest starred on The Good Doctor a couple years ago, and we had a lovely experience. And we played sisters, and it was really fun. And we were like, let's do it. This will be great. And Aly got really sick, and they had to like move the entire schedule one day.
Literally, it was the first time I've ever had to, or AJ, I was so sick, AJ had to call in and say, she literally can't come into work today.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
I was that ill.
Well, and all
And
the
I was
years
like,
you've been
but
doing
Aly-
that.
In all the years, that was the only time I've ever literally had to call a production and say, I can't physically be on set.
Because it
And
literally,
we were guests.
I mean, it costs people money to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
They had
it's
to
the
like
biggest deal.
They had to
Yeah.
reconfigure the day's shooting, which, you know, I think they were
They
able
figured
to
it out.
handle and figured it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
But
They were
AJ, I
lovely.
think, shot all of her stuff that day instead, and then I shot the following day.
So the whole joke was, of course, with Freddie, who's so sweet, was like, well, Freddie, he's a doctor, so just come to set. He'll take care
He'll
of you.
cure you.
He's a good doctor.
And I was the one that actually wasn't even supposed to be
I was the sick
like
one.
the sick one. So it was also even weirder where I was like, it'd be different if I was your role. Maybe I could have just sat in that bed, but
It's true, I
was
sat in the
messed
bed
up.
a lot.
Are there moments you miss a Phil the Future? Ever?
I miss being a kid.
That's cute.
And having like the innocence of a child's mind and not having the like history of, you know, living as an adult, you
Yeah.
know, and all those years in between. There's something that's really nice and naive about just being a kid and not having the worries that an adult carries. So in that way, yes, I miss those moments. And we had a lot of fun on the set. I mean, we all got along really well as a cast. It was very like, it was a low drama show.
Were you surprised by that?
We all had very different personalities. So in a way, I think it's not surprising that we all got along, but like, you know, we all also were different ages.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we were all the same age or we all could relate to each other. You know, Raviv is like 3 years older than me, which at that point in time, that feels like 10 years,
Totally.
you know, when you're 14. And then Amy is a couple years younger than I am. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we had a lot of like gags and, you know, things on set that entertained us as kids. I'm sure if I experienced it now, I'd be like, well, that's kind of lame. Why did I find that entertaining? But when you're 14, you think it's cool, you know?
Totally. And by the way, like I have friends who were on shows growing up as young kids, and it wasn't as fun. You know, there was not nearly as many gags.
Yeah,
if any, by the way.
And
like,
we had like a great like hair and makeup team. Wardrobe team was really great, like really sweet people that I think, you know, were used to working on kid shows. And so I had really good relationships with them. They were kind of our like safe haven if, you know, we were going through like some teenage angst, you know, we would talk to them in the hair and makeup chair.
Well, because it genuinely is a lot, right? Like and I only know this because again, my friends, looking back at my life, you know, I worked at Nickelodeon, and like, you know, there's so much pressure put on a human being at that stage in life while you're also still a sponge soaking in so much. And then to have the professional stress and pressure of like showing up and you have to know to a certain degree that like what you're stepping in there to do is a big deal. And
yeah, you're like a little mini adult.
yeah, you have to be.
Yeah,
you
you do.
have to be.
And I think
Yeah.
I think that AJ and I had overall pretty good experiences. I mean, there's definitely been moments that were weird or, you know, uncomfortable or just challenging to maybe overcome, you know, being young children that didn't come from a family that was, you know, brought up in the business. Like our family wasn't involved in that at all. So it was very much, we were at ground zero on everything, learning everything. But I think at the same time, it's a good reminder that the industry is not an ideal place probably for a kid to grow up. And like if someone is wondering if they should like put their kid in, you know, into acting or something, I would just say, you know what, you're going to be a lot safer if you just wait till the kid is like legal age and they can make adult decisions on their own. Because it's a lot of responsibility to have to place on the parents' shoulders and the reps and then the kid. It's just a lot.
Well, the thing is, the adults on set, I think their job is to be able to form how that kid will grow up, or at least help, not form, because they're not the parents. But it's up to them to be responsible with how they treat the children on set, and not every adult is going to be that way. So it's like, as a parent, how do you really go, all right,
My kid's
feed my
safe.
kid to the set,
Yeah.
see what happens, because not every adult's going to be respectful of that.
Dude, I know that the sets that I've been on, it's very business, you know? And it's, the way the phrase is, it's business, not personal. But when you're dealing with children at a
Totally.
very vulnerable stage of
is
their life,
personal.
it is incredibly personal. And then you also really, the other dark side of this whole thing is there are parents that need the success of their children to survive.
Yes.
And in some cases, it's the fame and the glow that they want to bask in and ride that wave. And in the worst cases,
the money.
it's financial.
I
You're
know.
right.
It's so sad.
I had a very close friend who was incredibly successful, has been on everybody's TV numerous times over. I had no idea the depths at which that financial support was going until I realized that, like, their parents didn't work.
Yeah.
And you're
I was
like,
like-
wait a minute. You're like, so you're a working child that's like keeping the lights on in your home?
And had been for like a long time.
That's devastating.
so
And they were
sad.
making stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money. Talking about, like, could be 6 figures a week per episode.
Yeah, that's insane.
But do those parents think they're working by being stage parents?
Yes.
Probably.
100% they
They
do.
probably think, well, my kid is
They do.
able to do this because of me.
Yes.
So I'm
Which
the
is,
one.
it's a justification, which is unfortunate because, again, it's like, you know, if your kid is really passionate about being in the industry and it's something that brings them a lot of joy, which I've experienced working with a couple of like child actors where I'm like, they are natural. They like being here.
Totally.
They're not complaining. They're super stoked. They're like total pros, but they also feel like they're still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, they're not adults. They're still children. And that was because I thought the parents were really solid and seemed like they had a good head on their shoulders. But I think a lot of the times, you know, the kid sometimes doesn't even want to be there.
Yes.
That's the really sad
That
part.
is when
you're
you're like,
Well-
oh my gosh, you're like, this family is like destroying themselves from the inside out, all because they're using this kid as
Well, I'll tell you a
really
story.
sad.
I watched this, and it was pretty wild. I watched a kid who's super young, who gets this guest starring role on a show. Huge deal. Definitely compete against probably like 50 to 100 kids. Easy. Gets the gig, goes to the table read, shows one inclination of not wanting to be there. And then the showrunner, executive producer, fires the kid
oh gosh.
literally almost immediately and fires him through the mom, the whole thing. Crazy. New kid looks similar to him there by the end of the day.
Right. Just like
Gosh.
immediately replaced.
brutal.
No, it's a really crazy industry.
He literally was going from table read to rehearsal, and it was like,
You're out.
yeah, he didn't step 2 seconds on set.
I mean, look,
I believe it.
I don't think AJ has ever been fired from a job. Have you?
No.
I've been fired from 2.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know how you want to call it fired. It's not like you're fired where they're saying that to your face.
Eh.
They're like, they're moving in a different direction, which you're like, okay.
You're fired.
I've been there, yeah.
But one of the times it was actually like, we're moving in a different direction. You're way too young. We've seen you now with the rest of the cast, and we cast you about 10 years too young, looking at you with all these other people that are supposed to be
Yeah, it
couples.
made no sense.
It made no sense. I mean, I kind of knew even going in, I was like, I'm like 10 years younger than everybody in this cast. This is a little bit odd. Maybe I'm supposed to be like the young girlfriend. And so that was like, you know, I
What
was
show?
It was a pilot that never went. With Will Forte.
How many pilots have y'all done?
Not that many.
I've done
By the way-
I've done a good amount, but not crazy.
There's,
I mean,
well, you had a pilot that went.
well, I've only ever done
Yeah.
shows
That we're
I
just
mean,
on.
I don't mean, yeah, that sounds horrible, but
No.
like The Guardian and like Oliver
Yeah.
Bean and the Goldbergs and Schooled. Like, I don't know
Well,
if
you
I've
had-
ever shot a pilot.
Actually, that's a really good question.
And then-
I don't
and
think
then
you have.
never.
I've shot some pilots that just never went.
Yeah.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Well, I really
Kinda.
wanted the Chevy Chase one to go. That would have been cool.
You did a show with Chevy Chase?
It was just a
Yes.
pilot that never went.
With him
Yeah.
and Beverly D'Angelo.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
I think if it had gone and it had worked, it would have
been
been
huge.
really great.
But did it
Huge.
work when you were there? Did you feel like it was
No,
working?
no.
Yeah,
Me
you
and the
know.
other actor like looked at each other and we were like, "This is a mess." I mean,
Yeah.
he just. I think he just it was hard for him to memorize lines.
Yeah.
He was older, you know. He's had, I think, a lot of health issues.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be the lead of a show now.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think it was the name of using, you know,
Of course.
of using the two of them as, okay, we're gonna spin this off into, now they have children and they're, you know, their children are raising a family like that.
but
Yeah,
a
it's
little
amazing.
confusing because they weren't playing the Griswolds. So it's actually a little.
Correct, they were not.
You're kind of like, wait, but that's
Wait,
the
what?
Griswolds.
Yeah,
They're just using that same couple.
Yeah.
Kind of like an old Hollywood movie would like use the same two stars because it was like, this was a successful thing,
Right.
you know.
It could have worked.
I don't hate it, but also they probably didn't have the rights to use the Griswolds or something.
I'm sure they did.
Probably.
But
It was I think it's ABC, right? Yeah, ABC, I think.
that's
Yeah. No, you're right.
so
But no, I've never shot a pilot.
wild that you've never shot a pilot. You know when you're on set though. Like, you feel
I
it.
feel like you know, and I feel like you know when it's like, this is gonna get picked up,
Yeah,
and then
but-
when you're like, ooh, whoops.
I've done 3 and I just knew.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
and none
one
of them
got
went.
picked up. No,
for
fuck
3.
no.
I think
Yeah,
that
they
you have
rock
you
out.
have greater chances of them not going than going.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the likelihood of it hitting is crazy. I'd rather just do my own fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
You know, fuck that. But you did get really, I mean, do you consider it luck being able to grab a role on the Goldbergs and then see it spin into something that is your own vehicle?
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, it didn't last as long as we all thought, the spinoff, but the pandemic really took us out. I mean, I think the show would have kept going, but after 2 years, it was done. But I still get the Goldbergs. Like, I feel like I'll always have Lainey. Like,
As
we're
long as
still
that show keeps going.
10 seasons. I
that's
just came back.
Crazy.
I'm doing another episode. Like, it has been crazy. I do think some of it's luck. I mean, I happen to know Adam Goldberg because of Aly. He had tested her on a show with Christian Slater that he was doing way before the Goldbergs called Breaking In, and fell in love with Aly as an actor and was like, she's great, blah, blah, blah. And then me and Aly tried to sell a show with Adam, and it didn't land, and instead the Goldbergs went. And he emailed me one day and was like, there's this role, Lainey Lewis, she's like kind of the bad girlfriend, like, will you come in and do like a couple days? And I was like, sure. And the role originally had like no lines. Like, I was like an extra, which I was like, I'm down. Like, I'll do it. I love Adam. I love the cast.
I was even like, are you sure you want to do that?
It was
It was like a co-star.
It was pretty little. I mean, the first like episode, then second, then third, I was like, okay, I'm coming back, but it's still not really growing. That's cool. And then finally it was like heavy recurring, and then became a regular, and then the spinoff. It was crazy. So yeah, I do think some of that's luck, but also like we built a relationship with Adam and had a genuine rapport.
Yeah,
And
but is it luck, or did you just show up and had an energy on set that people wanted around,
That's
so they
part of it,
chose
too.
to give you more?
that's sweet. I would like to think so. Yeah.
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 That's like, I just wonder how like thespians measure success, especially in a world that is as fickle as television, because like
Being asked to come back.
yeah, like
Yeah,
like
for
one
sure.
day it's super on and then the next day it's super fucking off, but yet your relevancy is still existent because the show you could be on is airing in syndication, or it's ingrained in people's lives and childhoods. Like
Yeah.
it is like do you see it as luck, or is it really seen as like, fuck, I did this, like I got this, even though like it's weird, like it could come down to random luck, like somebody else not showing up that day or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's both.
I think it's a combo.
I do.
I think it's definitely luck, but then I definitely think it's the hard work of the actor being right for the role, but also like
Timing.
You could be so right in so many ways and then wrong in one way, and that just takes you out, which is also really annoying.
That's a great point.
that
And-
that
and-
that fucks you up.
It does.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's also times where you're like, I really truly, I mean, I'm sure everybody is biased to their own performance or their own talent, but there's definitely times where I'm like, I really truly should have booked that. Like that should have been mine, because now I'm seeing it, you know, as the show or the movie or whatever, and I know that I was better than this. And then there's other times where you're like, you know what, that person actually is kind of better. I believe this character more with this actor, you know?
Right.
But
No,
like,
you're right.
but there's definitely times where I've been like, you know, they lost out. And you're like, actually, there's some solace to that, I think.
I agree.
You find peace.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you didn't get to do the project, you're like, you know what, though? I wouldn't have changed anything I would have done about the audition or...
Right.
And then there's the ones every once in a while where you're like, I would have done that a little differently now that I know that this person booked it or whatever, you know, or I would have dressed maybe in this way or.
Yeah, because one little thing like that really
It's
can
weird.
throw off somebody's perception or
It's
image that they
strange.
have in their mind already. Or
Yeah.
Or even where you're from.
yes,
Like I've lost out on a role because they were like, she's a little too California. She's from California.
like,
And I'm
what?
like, what the hell does that mean?
you're giving Midwest, sister.
Yeah, right.
Thank
you
you.
know?
Thank you.
Well, and I didn't book it. And
Yeah.
it was like one of those things where it was like that was kind of the main reason why. And it was really wrong, in my opinion. If you're a great actor, you're a great actor.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But-
yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Isn't the job of an actor to take on whatever the
Right.
character
The
is?
character.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay, you want me from Appalachia? Great. I'm
Yeah.
from Appalachia. Like, what? It's so bizarre.
Do you guys ever feel like you don't get hired because you are Aly and AJ?
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I think especially when we were younger, it did not help us. It was like
I get
which
that.
is funny, whereas almost in a weird way now, I like to think that being successful again in music would, I don't know, would only be a positive because it's just more eyeballs or more
Yeah,
fans or
I
more
hope so.
people in seats or watching the show. But I think when we were younger, it was very hard. And it was also very hard because they would confuse us all the time. It's like, no, I'm Aly. That's AJ. She's the
Totally.
younger one. I mean, I guess we were both blonde,
Yeah,
so
you
it was
were.
more confusing. But I do think it was like a negative. It was not a positive.
No.
It wasn't like, cool, Aly and AJ, they sold, this many records. And like,
right.
it was like, huh?
It was more like, oh, you're going to go in for this J.J. Abrams movie. Do not say you do music. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't
It's
want to
weird,
hear
yeah.
that you're a pop star. Like, and maybe now he would be into it because his
Yeah.
daughter is. But like, but like at the time, it's like, nope, I don't know what music is. I don't do it.
Music, never heard of it.
Never
heard of it.
Never heard of it. Here to act.
That's funny.
By the way, like that is a thing. Dude, I have friends who've had to change careers completely and totally because it's been so hard for them to get a job post a show that, like,
Yeah.
by the way, like debuted 10 years ago and has been off the air for fucking ever.
It's so unfair.
It is
That
so
It's
terrible.
so unfair.
It's so
It's also
unfair.
like, who cares? Like, nobody else would be judged in that way in other fields of work. You know what
No.
I mean? But in the arts, you're like
Right.
so harshly judged.
Right.
But it's gross because, like, and it creates a terrible system because you have then kids who are younger making money that they've never actually made before.
Right.
And even though it's not an insane amount of money, it's a nice
Yeah.
amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's the amount that's going to fucking run out.
Totally.
And you reach these high
And then
heights
it's
of
gone.
fame.
And then it's over.
You have more money than you've ever seen. And then you think you're going to book shit right when you're out of whatever this longer show is.
Right.
You did 100 episodes
And then
of.
you don't. Yeah.
Right.
It's so true.
You literally adapt or die.
Yeah.
No, it's so true.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
You get it. You
Oh,
totally
yeah. My
get
best
it.
friends,
You totally
man.
get
My
it.
best friends in life are like, who have
Child
all.
actors.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of our really
Same.
close girlfriends, especially, are child actors who have been in the industry for years and are like fantastic actresses, work really hard, get to the finish line many times. They book stuff too, but like they've had moments of like major droughts. I mean, we have as well. I mean, where I'm in one, you could call. Like, I haven't worked in a bit as an actor, I mean, music has been so like
Well, that's.
the focus, but if you don't have that second outlet, that would be
Right.
really devastating. I mean, it would be weird to be like, I guess then there's no judgment obviously on this, but I would
How do
be
you
like,
pivot?
I guess now I have to do another job, or I'm a yoga instructor, or I don't know, like
and I'll tell you how
I'm
my
like, I
friends
don't
have
have any
pivoted.
other life skills.
Yeah, that's.
I don't either.
Well, and
What
that's.
would we do?
It's not okay.
No, but genuinely.
There has to
truly.
be something freeing though with music where nobody else is judging you or casting you or thinking
that
you're
is
wondering
true.
if you're worthy.
It is
or,
That is
Freeing.
true. I will say that is the
yours.
one
It
reason
is.
I think why it's a bit of a one
It's more sustainable.
on the acting, because it doesn't have that judgment process in there. I mean, yes, you might be judged by someone saying, I'm not putting your song on a playlist, or I'm not putting this song on the radio, but all of that is kind of pointless anyways.
There's no auditioning
and
process.
there's no auditioning process of saying, hey, you're not right for this, and you feel that immediate.
There's no pilot. Your record's not canceled. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like
unless you're dropped from your
Unless
label.
you're
I guess that
dropped.
would be the equivalent.
But now with music democratized the way it is, like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like anybody has the ability to have a record find some sort of
Yeah.
ears and rise.
totally.
right.
Totally.
Right.
It's all yours.
It is.
No
Whereas
casting.
TV, you're like, is this show going to get canceled? Is
Are
this
we,
going to go
are we
another
getting
year?
moved to
Is
a
this...
shitty night, and now all of a sudden our ratings are going to plummet? Like, it's like
Right.
there's so much politics behind it.
Whereas music, you're like, the music's out and I believe in it and I'm happy and now I can go tour it.
Go.
And you're just worried about, not worried,
You're
but just
concerned
concerned
about-
about ticket sales. Like
Yeah.
who's going to show up?
Yeah, and the
how do I
cost
get
of the
those
tour,
people?
because now things have changed so much with, I think, COVID changed a lot with the touring community. But then I think just streaming in general, I feel like it's harder to get people to come to a concert and to buy, you know, a merch item and a nice ticket and all these things, because people just want to spend their money differently. So that's, I think, the greatest worry or concern is that. And then the budget of the tour, you know, how much it costs to have your band out, have them in hotel rooms on
you're
the
running
off
a
nights.
business.
You know, the bus, I mean, buses like cost like $100K.
Yeah, so expensive.
For a couple months.
You know,
or 2.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean,
crazy.
it's like, it's insane. I mean, you talk to your business manager and you get off the phone and you're like, should we just cancel this whole tour? But we've already put the tickets
And then
out
we're
and,
like, no.
you know, some of them are already sold. Like, what? And then you go, no, we just got to figure out a way to, like, cut back here.
And
like,
it works. It works
and
every time.
you know? In a weird way, you have to almost look at touring as, like, a promotional vehicle and not, like, a money-making vehicle. I mean, unless you're at a really high level and you're playing these huge rooms. I think when you start getting that 6,000 and up, that's when you can, because there's a large amount of people.
100%.
Yeah.
But by the way, like, totally fucking random. Nickelback happened to be on the show the other day. And
Oh, really? Were they cool?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, I've heard they're great.
Yeah, for a band that has, like, really one of the worst raps for doing nothing. Like, they've done nothing, to give them
I
this
know.
definition, but it was literally a Comedy Central commercial. But they were saying that, like, they were playing giant arenas and still losing money because they needed a floating fucking stage that would
Right.
like. So your point is, like, it is promotion. It's It's a physical.
They can even lose money at that
God,
place
yes.
if you're
For
saying
sure.
I need an LED wall and I need a
Pyro.
Fucking pyro
and I
floating
need
shit.
Right.
and I need like 20 background dancers and
Well,
you know.
because the bigger the venue, too, the more glitzy you have to be. Because for the people that are way far in the back, what are they going to see? Pyro.
totally.
They're not going to see much else. They're way far up.
So
So you're kind of,
what would you? Does it make you try to understand what makes your live show special, and what those qualities are that need to shine, and what is kind of expendable?
Our bond. I mean, honestly, not to sound like a cheeseball, but like us as sisters on stage, to me, that's something that you can't replicate unless you're sisters or brothers. You know, I think there are people that have kind of made a career off of blood harmonies and vocalizing with family and things that you can't really create with, you know, a duo that's not connected like that. So I think Aly and I will always have that, our bond on stage. I think our voices, I think that Aly and I have now gotten really used to performing live because we've been doing this for so long. So we know how to grab the attention of an audience, which I think a lot of people don't know how to do when they tour.
Yeah.
And
I think it's about the musicianship, you know.
it's definitely
too.
about that.
Like, it's not about, I mean,
That's
obviously I'd love for us to get to a level where we have like a crazy stage layout, you know, and it's really intricate and built, you know, hand built from the ground up. But I also know that we are not the type of band that needs, I think, all those bells and whistles. I think we just want to go out and like play the music and have a great band backing us, and that it's about the songs and the connection with the audience. And I think there are certain acts that you go to see because of the spectacle of it, and maybe it's not so much about the music or about the artistry. And that's also fine too, because that's art in its own way. But I think for us, we want to be kind of go back to the old school style of concerts where there weren't really, you know, bells and whistles. It was just people going up on stage and playing great music and having a great time and connecting, and then that magic disappears when they're off stage.
Do you
Exactly.
feel the need to, like, put your storytelling in a genre box, or are you cool with it just being what it is?
Don't really need it to be in one.
No, because I kind of think genres are out now. Like people don't really describe the music they listen to now in pockets of genre. They more talk about emotions. How are they feeling that day? I'm on the sad vibe. I'm on a sad playlist. I'm on the acoustic playlist. I'm on the happy playlist. You know, it's like, I feel like music is now defined by mood as opposed to genre.
And I also feel like we didn't really, I mean, I guess we kind of had more of a genre when we were younger. That was, I guess you would say, pop rock. But I think as we've gotten older, we've realized that we don't really fit in one specific genre space. Like, we are kind of pop, we are kind of indie, we are a little folk. There's a tiny bit of country even in this new record.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm like, I'm like, whatever, it's just good music, you know?
It's great, by the way, the album.
Thanks.
you.
We're so proud of it.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I love that you guys got to hear the
Oh,
whole
right
thing.
on.
It's so good.
Yeah, it was
Thank
phenomenal.
you. I love that we were here for Touch the Beat, and now we get to be here for With Love From.
The last one was great too.
Thanks.
Real quality music.
Thank you.
Again, musicianship is very like front and center and obvious.
Thank you.
That's I live for that shit.
Thanks.
How long after a touch of the beat? Sorry, the name's so long. We're
That's okay. You don't have to say
No,
it.
that's okay.
How long after that album?
I remember when you guys tried.
Yeah, you're like, what? A touch of
what?
the beat again?
Totally.
How long after that album did you start this one? Because it does sound similar, but you can tell there's some changes.
Yeah.
So we ended A Touch of the Beat in, hold on. It was May. It came out 2019.
No, 2020.
Sorry. Wait, what?
Yeah, it came out the year of the pandemic.
Yeah, 20,
Actually,
right?
no, it came out 2021.
Oh, it did. I
Yeah.
did. I'm sorry. I'm all messed up.
2019.
Because we're now in 2023.
I'm all messed up.
No, it came out 2021.
May
So wait,
7th, 2021.
There you go. Thank you. 2021. And then we made the Touch of the Beat record in December of 2021, which is crazy.
No, with Love From.
With Love From. Yeah, sorry. So it came out in May.
Ally's usually so good at this.
I am. I'm off.
May 2021 is when Touch of the Beat came out. Then we
started immediately
recording.
we started immediately writing because we were weirdly still inspired, which I don't not that that's weird, but I guess I wasn't expecting us to still be like, there's more songs to write. I would have thought that we would just be like, I'm burnt out. Like,
because it was
finally
16,
made this full record. It was a lot of
16
songs. But we got back into the studio in like, I want to say July or August, maybe.
Yeah.
And we wrote like July, August, September, October, November, and then we got in the studio to actually make the new record in December.
And then toured Touch the Beat
Touch the Beat afterwards, which was in 20.
Wait, so you had another album ready to go while you were touring the first one?
Yeah. It just wasn't like all put together. It was like we had done all of our vocals and all of our we had cut the band and the vocals at the same time, which we hadn't done on Touch the Beat. And then we knew we had some overdubs to do with like harmonies and some background stuff, and that there would maybe be some more parts that would be added in, like, hey, we need another guitar line. We'll bring in, the guitarist and he'll overdub. And they did that up until we left for tour, basically. We left, and that first show was April 2nd or something.
April 2nd.
And then when we got back, we finished everything up in the summertime. It was like July, August, September.
Do you try any of these songs on the new album with Love From while you're on the road?
Yeah, we did actually.
Yeah,
which we've never done before.
Yeah, we played with Love From throughout the whole tour. We played Baby Lay Your Head Down. We played Blue Dress.
Yeah,
I think just those
three songs. Yeah.
Which felt really good. And then it started making us feel like, oh my gosh, I just want to play the whole new record now. But then we're like, but we got to still honor the Touch of the Beat album, which we love.
Are you like listening or looking for any sort of reaction? Like, what are you feeling for when you play the new stuff that's unreleased?
Yeah, I think it's all about energy, just seeing how fans react to something they haven't heard yet.
And not knowing the lyrics, but still like enjoying the song,
Totally. And then next thing you know, you're seeing it like come out online. People are posting about it. And then the next night, some people might come back to the show and they kind of know the words. Like I remember starting to see people.
I was like, what? I was like, how do you know this song already?
Yeah, it was wild.
That's
because we were consistently doing it, and then we would also do it on the Ben Platt tour. So we were touring so much last year. We played 75 shows last year.
Holy shit.
So it was like we were just conditioning people with these new songs, and eventually they were really starting to catch on. But we hadn't really ever done that, where we were playing unreleased music.
People, like, it is actually like one of the best ways to get an understanding of how it works.
Oh, my goal for an upcoming album would be to get a whole record on stage before it's out.
Or to at least have parts of it where you've played each song, a handful of times in and out of your set.
Well, it ends up designing the song in such a way that, like, the fact that you're playing it live is kind of telling you how it needs to be on a recording. And when the recording leads, you don't get that. So it's like, to me, a live show almost needs to tell you how you're going to produce it.
We actually did a recall on With Love From right before it came out. Like, we gave our entire team a heart attack, which we never do this kind of thing. We were like, I'm sorry. I was like,
we did on Slow Dancing too.
We did it on Slow Dancing. That's right. But we were like, we need to recut the chorus vocal. We were like, we've been singing this song now on stage, and I was like, we sing it very different than the original recorded version that we did back in December, and now it's October, and we just sing it differently on stage. It has a lot more energy. It's not quite so like lackadaisical in the way that we used to sing it. And so we literally went in and just like recut the whole chorus
right before it came out.
Like literally 2 weeks before.
It really
came
needed
out.
it. And it made a huge difference.
It made a huge difference.
So
we like looked at each other and we're like, we that was right.
Yeah, that's why live, I'm like,
Hits.
It's so awesome to play live and then figure out your studio
Neil
process.
Young would do that. He would like only test things in front of an
cool.
audience and then go back
Smart.
and figure it
Brilliant.
out.
It's really
Well, yeah,
smart.
there you go. That's why he's Neil Young.
That's fucking right.
Well,
Amen.
Aly, I think there's a comment you made about embracing imperfections on this album.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Did you guys used to try to make everything too perfect, and you realize like sometimes it's nice to
Yeah, we're like
Totally.
Me and AJ, I think have. I mean, and I think it comes from our pop days. We really enjoy comping vocals, which is like the actual putting together of the vocal take, whether that's one full take of the verse or the chorus, or you're like, I love take 9 that line and then take 12 on the third line.
Yeah.
And I think we love it so much that sometimes we fixate on getting that perfect vocal or that vocal that is in completely is completely perfectly in tune, and then we kind of realize that that's not really the end goal of the type of music that we're trying to make, at least now in our career.
Well, and it also it became really clear to Aly and I, now that we're adults making records in our 30s as opposed to as teens, that it's not really about piecing things together anymore. It's like, energetically, I want to hear one take of a verse that was all sung in that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you can't do things the other way. I understand when people want to piece together certain lines. I don't believe in piecing together words. I think that gets really
It gets
hairy.
really weird. Yeah,
But
and you can kind of hear it too.
Yeah, but I understand if you're like, take 1 of line 1 was awesome and take 3 of line 2 was really solid, and we could also take 3 of line 3. That is cool. I get it. But I think when you're getting more comfortable with yourself as a vocalist and you're singing live in a room with your band performing at the same time, you end up stealing that energy from a one-take performance that you can't really get from piecing
You
together.
can't replicate it in the piecing together part. You're right. Yeah.
But that's going back to musicianship. You can't really do those things without it.
No, you can't.
No, yeah, you can't.
So you guys are actually recording these songs almost like it's live, like you're recording while the band's playing.
Yeah. That's how we did
the
this
only
one.
real difference, I guess, that we could take one step further if we wanted to even go deeper in that world, is doing the record to tape, which maybe I could see in our future.
Neil Young does that too.
Yeah,
He
that'd be
does.
very
Yeah,
cool.
he's
He
fucking
does.
crazy, dude.
I mean, that's
does.
wild.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was really cool. We were in an isolated vocal room
isolated
and
box.
playing, singing while the band was playing, and it was amazing. And I do think it inspired the way we sang certain things, because we had James on drums and we had Sam on guitar and Joe Kennedy on keys. I mean, we have such an amazing, our band live is incredible. Our studio friends are also incredible, and we have so many musicians that we now work with. And I think their playing just really helps inspire how we're going to sing. Bottom line.
And
if-
these
and if
guys
it's
are
already-
like the best. Like, these are like crazy talented musicians that
insane.
that you just kind of go, look, you just do your thing. I don't want to stop you. Like, keep
Who's
the energy
arranging
flowing.
it though?
A lot of it's arranged by our producer,
Yeah.
Eve Rothman, and then Aly and I as well. Like, we all have a really heavy hand in that. And then we really let the band also do what they want to do.
Because they also might, from just a gut perspective, they all look at each other and go, I feel like that should be a double chorus, or can this outro be another 4 bars longer? And we'll go, yeah, go do it,
Yeah, totally.
So there's a lot of freedom.
there's a sketch before.
There's a sketch, but there's a lot of freedom in the sessions, which I do think the musicians really enjoy, because it's not some rigid, structured session that they're coming into where they're like, okay, like I can't really go outside the box here. We're like, try it. If we love it, then we'll let you keep going down that road.
Yeah, totally.
That freedom is what makes a great product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
Well, I think that's why Rick Rubin is such a genius, because he gives so much freedom to his artists, and it makes them feel like they're like God, because he's inspired that in them.
Yeah, it's more
so
about
it's like
enabling.
there's no
Totally.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no barriers.
By the way, with Love From, you got to listen, right? When is it coming out? Is it out?
It's out, yeah.
The fuck? Why did I?
Well, the song's
the
out,
single,
not
not
the
the
record.
Not the album.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
I was
confusion.
gonna
Yeah.
say.
The single's
The
out.
first single is the album title.
Because that was like my notes say something different on the album, I
Yeah.
think. But
Well,
it's coming, right, this spring?
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, this spring.
Title track first, though.
Yeah,
Title track first.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Why'd you make that decision?
I don't know. I don't think there was like a specific reason that we chose that, but we liked the message behind With Love From, and that it felt like it was kind of the heart of the album in terms of what it meant to us, and that it was kind of this love letter to our fans. And so it made sense to release it first, but it wasn't always going to be the song that was released first. We've gone down many paths of no this song and then no this song, because we actually think there's a lot that could have been a single or could be a single. We've now kind of come to our conclusion. There's no real changing it at this point, but
There's a couple songs on here you were talking about singles. There's like 3 songs on here that I thought were phenomenal. Would sound so
cool.
good live.
what were the ones that you
What
were
are they?
your favorites?
After Hours,
Cool.
Love You This Way, and Tear Up the Night.
Cool.
Oh,
Or
sick.
Tear the Night Up. Tear the Night Up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Those ones are going to sound so good live.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I felt very, very, very understood by I'm open to something, and that something is you.
Oh, that opens our record.
That opens the album.
It's going to open the live show, too.
God.
We're giving so much away. What do you like about the song?
Oh, it kind of, I don't know. It's about coming, my interpretation of it is coming to terms with the fact that you finally found somebody that you're down to ride with or love or give yourself to or reprioritize for.
Totally. Even if
agree.
it's not perfect, it
Yes.
doesn't have to be. Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes you think it needs to be perfect.
Sometimes you think it does. Yeah.
But the reality is I think beauty and real love actually thrives in imperfection and growing from when those imperfections are exposed.
Totally.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it got me thinking, so thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Perfection is an illusion.
Amen.
That's what Brett Dyer would say.
With love from. We're going to put a link in the description below. Listen. What are you thinking?
Who was hiding out in Missouri? What were you doing there?
We've hit out in a lot of, I think, cities over our lifetime. And I think because we've done a lot of touring, that in a way is a bit of a hideout from our real life. Being out on the road keeps you away from some of your like responsibilities at home. And so for us, we were like, well, let's choose a couple of cities in the US that I know are places that we connect to or we've had moments in, and put it in the song. And we also love the kind of the double meaning of misery and misery. Obviously.
Yeah, we
something
both
to do with
have our connection to that line, but for me, it's more of like I'm hiding out in my own mood. I'm hiding out in misery.
wherever that is.
What about Vegas?
I mean, Vegas is a city of sin, so you know nothing good happens in Vegas.
Exactly.
Oh, it's fucking the worst.
It's
Vegas
so
is
bad.
crazy, but
Yeah.
we've had really good experiences there, and we actually shot a lot of content there, and this crazy thunderstorm followed us for like 2 days, and it became such a mood for this album. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, from Marfa, Texas to Las Vegas.
Followed us from Marfa to Vegas.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everywhere we went, there was thunder and lightning. We were like, what the hell does this mean?
Yeah. When we were trying to make the music video
music
for With
video.
Love From and the like album content, like all the artwork.
That's
yeah,
weird.
so Vegas is just
Right?
like,
Vegas is just
it's a
Vegas.
place we've been so many times, and it represents, I think, a lot of,
Just being in a dark moment or dark place.
yeah,
you know?
it does represent a lot of darkness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people searching for something that they can't really ever hold on
Find,
to.
yeah.
There's a whole city of people who live in
It's
the
the least
tunnels.
least
Oh,
sustainable
yeah, that's
place
right.
of all time.
And the tunnel people in Vegas.
There's tunnel people?
I've heard of this.
Oh, yeah, dude. They live under the streets.
I've heard of
I
this.
thought I was going to be taken. Last time I was there, I was like, take me
I
to
read
the tunnels.
I read an article on this.
I thought it was going to be taken.
Real. Like, no,
What?
it's fucking nuts. Like, I'm assuming it's people who come to Vegas trying to, like, better their life through
Yeah.
gambling.
Right.
But the reality is, like, they fall short and have nowhere to go. So
And
there's
end up in a tunnel?
communities of people. So the way the city is built for
know.
draining, because it doesn't rain there much, there's
Except
like,
when we were there.
which is why
It
it's
was
fucking
crazy.
weird. There's like these drains that are essentially tunnels that exist underneath the city, and they all live there. Like it's a whole community of people.
So
Like,
there's
hundreds of
almost
people.
like a, I mean, I guess would you call it like a nomad community or a
Yes.
homeless community
Wow.
kind of?
Yeah.
So it's all the people that didn't quite make it in the city.
And they're
Like
still
Windbag
there.
Or,
it says there's 600 miles of tunnels under Las Vegas and
Yeah.
1,500 people live there.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
That's wild.
that's insane.
It's like a little encampment.
Yeah, if they get another 1,000, they're gonna need like services,
Right.
Wow.
trash and police and stuff.
Jeez.
Crazy, right?
That's insane. I did
yeah.
not know that.
Well, sorry to darken it up, everybody. Give it a Google when you want. Tunnel people in Vegas. Listen to. Why did I say that? Listen to It Love From. Please, please, please. The single. Album's on the way. It's coming in the spring. Has there ever been a discussion about doing a Cowbell's present day movie?
It's been hinted
we
at.
floated it for a bit, but that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And by now we've now kind of said, if they really wanted to do it, they would have.
If
come
Disney
to us.
Plus wants to knock on the door,
They know how to
great.
get in touch.
Yeah, they know how
Yeah.
to get a hold of us.
Yeah,
The
they know how
mouse
to get
knows
us.
your number.
Totally.
Yeah.
But we're not like pushing it now.
Interesting.
Would you like a Cowbell sequel?
Would love it.
Wait, really?
Yes.
What would
But
it
what would
even
you
be?
what would you want it to be about?
Oh, I mean, like, I would love to get a present day look.
Like, are they married? Are they
Yeah.
divorced?
Where are they at? What were you pitching?
We didn't really
we
have
didn't
a
have
pitch.
it. We didn't have a pitch.
It was just a Cowbell sequel.
It was like, yeah, sure. Like,
It's like, you want to do it? Okay, we'll figure it out now.
we'll
yeah.
figure it out now. Yeah.
Got it.
We didn't really have much. I mean,
No.
maybe it was like a sister, one of them's divorced.
Yeah, and that
One
kind of
is still
thing.
like working at the dairy farm.
I just think there's some, even if it's like turns into a TV show, there's a good YA audience there.
Yeah.
There
I'll
is.
I'll give it a rewatch and I'll pitch you a few concepts.
Okay.
You know?
Great.
That would actually be really helpful.
Yeah, we'll workshop.
Perfect. We'll workshop it.
You know, it's slow and steady.
Do you think it's important though to keep yourself separated from your Disney days? Like I'm sure fans would love if you.
Thank
toured
you,
with
Dan.
Nick
Yes.
I mean the Jonas Brothers or Miley Cyrus again. Like I'm sure people would love
No,
that,
it's-
but does that even make sense?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
not
don't
really.
think so.
I don't think so. And I also feel like, over time, you end up just your taste changes so dramatically that you end up making music that is very different from the music that you were making, back in the day. I mean, Miley is definitely making different music.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jonas Brothers. I feel like they're making the same music, but like,
Tea.
but I do think that it's one of those things where like as you get older, you start to realize, okay, this is actually my taste. That was my taste as a teen.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this place. And you're not ashamed of the past. You know
course.
the past happened, but you're not
But
really
you don't feel like you have much in common with it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. It
know?
feels like not in a bad way. It's like it feels like another time and another place and era and moment.
An
in your
ex-boyfriend that you're no longer
Yeah.
into.
Yeah,
You're
right.
like, what?
Well, to put that outfit
You're like,
on
wait,
again
we
is a big
dated?
deal.
You're like, huh? I guess, we did have
That's
some
the
nice
equivalent
moments.
of kind of the Disney past
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
I really do understand that. And I do think there's like a couple things. Well, one, I think Disney suffers from the fact that like they will not update their IP storytelling to match young adults. So like anything they're looking to do is still for a family. And like Alyssa
Eventually, that's gotta.
you can't do it because like
Yeah.
even
You
Alyssa
can't do it forever,
McGuire
yeah.
doesn't matter. Like if you bring back cowbells, like it needs to be something that is meant for people like me,
Yeah.
not for who's watching today.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's about
Correct.
bringing back who was there,
I agree.
not
Correct.
feeding who's already there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
And I just, they got to get out of their own way there. But like, I get it. Like it's a chapter that you kind of close, and
Also, it's hard to remember sometimes. I mean, I know that
Fuck
sounds
yeah.
weird,
No,
but
I
I'm
get
like,
that.
it's a really long time ago. I'm like, wait. I mean, I remember certain parts, but then other parts, I'm like, it's just blacked out. I'm like, I don't
better
really
that
remember
way.
that. It
Yeah,
probably
me
is
neither.
better that way.
fuck yeah,
It's probably also a way to deal with trauma.
that's 100%.
Yeah.
Whether that's I mean, we have been very lucky and have not had a lot of really terrible moments, but I'm sure some
That's
of that
true.
is just like
Overall, we had a really good experience.
is just
actually.
you're a teen and most people probably don't remember
yeah.
their teen years.
Yeah, 'cause you're going,
when they're
going,
like
going.
in their mid 30s, they're like, what was I doing when I was 15? You know,
Sister, our brains are developing. There's
Yeah,
no room for
exactly.
memories.
correct,
Exactly.
correct. You're just experiencing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Damn. Well, listen to With Love From, please. Aly and AJ, final thoughts?
Yeah, one quick question. You
Yeah.
guys mentioned taste, and like, do you guys have the same taste today? Because you're building this really cool brand. It's kind of like Western. I see you shoot a lot of things on film. Is that like something you decide on together, or somebody take lead on the visuals?
I mean, that's something we really feel passionate about as a duo. I think it's important that because Aly and I operate as one amoeba, basically, for our music, we have to both adopt the same ethos and really believe in the same thing. And if we don't, that's a conversation. But for Aly and I, it's something that we both really strive for, shooting on film and also leaning towards more of like this kind of folk direction, which is
More
what we
analog
really grew up
than
with.
digital. I mean, as much as we can. But yeah, I mean, I thank you for noticing. That is a big, that's a big intention behind the music and behind the visuals. And, we're definitely like we're an indie act. So we don't have sometimes the finances that another artist would have to be able to do some, blowout music video that costs, a few $100,000.
But I don't think you need it.
But I don't think you need it. I think
Yeah.
it can
No.
still be really meaningful and heartfelt.
It might not serve the music correctly if we had it that way.
That's
Yeah.
true too. Yeah. But I think AJ and I, as we've gotten older, our taste does continue to like meld together. I think we've always enjoyed pretty much the same music and films and TV shows. You know, my husband is a big part of the aesthetic of the band because he's kind of our creative director. So
Very
he shoots all
much
the videos and all the images.
I mean, not kinda. He is.
He is. Yeah.
He is
we
he
joke
is our
that
Willow
he is.
Perone.
He is the and in Aly and AJ. We joke.
Yeah. No, he is.
But I think as we get older, we realize that we're like very similar in certain ways and then very different in others.
Yeah.
But I think that the things that we are similar on are all the things that help our band, which is great.
Like, I love survivalist shows. Aly doesn't really care for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch it.
Aly loves true crime. I don't really care for that. That's really our biggest.
That's
those
our
are
biggest
differences.
Yeah.
Well, go see these two on tour. We're going to put a link in the description below if you want to buy tickets. Please buy tickets. Do it. They're putting on a good show.
Playing the Greek.
We're playing the Greek.
September 8th,
That's
we're playing the
huge.
Greek.
It's a big deal for us.
It's
By the way, we never even
huge.
played the Greek back in the day.
It's, first of all, one of the most iconic venues on planet
We
Earth.
cannot wait.
And it's the most gorgeously stunning.
It's
Are,
beautiful.
you guys got to come.
Oh, we're coming.
You have to.
Oh, I
We're
will
also
be there,
playing Hammerstein in New York, which
Huge.
I cannot wait
I
for.
love-
We're playing the Ryman on my birthday.
Wow.
In Nashville,
Casual knots.
which haven't
Casual.
played that since 2007. Crazy.
We have an old school Aly and AJ poster from the Ryman that they made us back in the day, and I'm
Crazy.
like, oh, I want the new version now of like us.
Has
you know.
that really been motivating at all? Like wanting to achieve in any way, whether it's like it may never be chart success, it may be whatever, but like achieve certain milestones that you were able to do before, and then surpass in new ways, in different
Totally.
ways that fulfill you.
Totally.
100%.
Ryman is a perfect example of that.
I think the venues is a huge example of that. I think radio and charting and stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Never really had it to begin with.
I don't think we ever
Not in a
had it.
huge way.
So in a weird way, we've never really tasted that success. So I'm like, that's okay. You know, if it never comes. I also know the music.
It's a weird
we make,
thing to be casual about, but it's
get
true.
it.
We don't.
I also think the music is kind of, I mean, it's a bit niche. Like if we were just doing maybe something that was more down the middle and it was like very mainstream, I would understand maybe the need or want for that kind of validation. But I know that our music isn't that. And so we're choosing this very specific journey to go down. And I think we're confident in that and knowing that this is going to be, I think, the most rewarding for us long term. I think it's the kind of music that we'll be happy still playing when we're in our 50s and 60s.
And that's what it's about, right?
I was at a Stevie Nicks concert a couple months ago, and then as I was listening to your album, I was like, I could see these two playing these songs when they're like 60, 70, just
That's
kind of
cool.
rocking out on stage.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. That's
a
that's
massive
the biggest
compliment.
compliment we could get.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely
you.
got that vibe.
Thank you.
That's the goal.
Really,
That's the
really
goal.
cool. And shout out to Pappy and Harriet's. We're playing a show there.
Yeah, that
It's
venue's
going to be
awesome.
like our pre-tour. Come see us. Listen to the whole record
Yeah.
front to back.
Sick.
Pappy and Harriet's March 17th. So if anyone wants to head out to Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, Pioneer Town,
Yeah.
Wow.
come
We're
see
really
us.
excited.
That
Have you
is
guys ever
amazing.
seen a show there?
No.
I've only eaten there.
Yeah, same. I've only eaten there.
Only in there. Never saw a show.
I just saw Phoenix like a few nights ago.
Oh, shit.
And they
She
played
said it was
inside.
amazing.
It was really cool. I mean, the space was so crammed. We're outside, which I think actually will be more ideal. I think we'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just because it's a slightly larger stage and it's just not. I mean, people literally couldn't move.
And you're
you know?
outside.
And
It'll
you're
be nice.
outside.
It'll feel a little more comfortable.
But it was very cool to see them in such a, small space. They had like 300 people inside that were able to attend, and
Sold
you were just
out
like smushed
instantly.
You know?
That's
but it was very
fucking
cool.
crazy.
Crazy. I
Yeah.
wanted to see like Patrick Watson there and Patti Smith there. Never seen a show there. I've just eaten there. And so the fact that you experienced that the other night.
Yeah, I literally had chili right before and a cocktail, and then saw them play. It was
perfect. What a
great.
night.
And now you'll perform there.
And now
Yeah.
we'll perform.
Yeah,
there.
your first show is your own there.
Sick.
Exactly.
pretty cool.
Yeah, we
Pretty
can't
sick.
wait.
We're going to put a link in the description below if you want to get tickets. Go, go, go. Also, link to listen to all their music, Aly and AJ, on Amazon Music. We thank you, two, for giving us time and energy today. I really
for having
appreciate
us.
you.
Thanks. We had a
We
great
appreciate
time.
it too.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys
glad we
are
could come
fucking
in this
amazing.
time.
Yes.
I
Same.
mean, yeah.
Anytime we put out a record, we'll be here
Oh,
if you'll have us.
Did you already start?
literally anytime.
Did you already start the next one since you started?
No,
this one?
no.
Okay,
Funny enough,
okay, good.
no, we have not. Actually, that's like that's good. I think maybe at the end of the year, with all the touring that will have been done, then we'll maybe start to get inspired on, writing a new record.
Agreed. Yeah.
Boom.
But we'll keep you guys up to date.
Please.
You'll know all the details.
Give us all the tea, yeah?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dan is a real fan.
I think it's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
love
Thanks,
it. It's so
Dan.
good. Like I said, it's like a modern day Fleetwood Mac can fit in there with the Eagles.
Totally.
That's really
Thank you.
And like
really cool.
that's phenomenal.
That's really high praise.
you.
Thank
That's
you.
very
That's
high
really
praise.
sweet.
So listen to it. Link in the description below. Aly and AJ, everybody, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, guys.